Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Dee and I'm back with a quick and easy tutorial. By now you must have seen the picture on the thumbnail of what we are going to make. So we're going to make that fringe top with long sleeves, and for the yarn I'll be using this robin yarn. It's 100% acrylic. It's thin yarn, so I'm going to double the strands so I can get medium weight. And then you need some tape measure. You'll need your pair of scissors. For the hook I'll be using a 5mm hook. You're also going to need a darning needle to weave in your ends at the end. So I'll put this aside and let's get started. So to start your project, I have this piece here and we're going to be making this same piece the same way I made this. So I'm going to show you how to make it, and then you go ahead and make the second one as well, because we're going to need two of them. So you're going to make a magic ring like this. So we're going to start our project with a magic ring, and you're going to make the ring in the way you know how to, but this is how I make mine. So you're going to insert your hook and then pull up a loop, and then you're going to chain 4. The chain 4 is going to count as a double crochet and the chain 1. Then you're going to yarn over and make a double crochet into the ring, yarn over, make another double crochet into the ring, and then chain 2, yarn over, back in the same ring, make 2 more double crochets, chain 1, yarn over, back in the same ring, make your last double crochet, and at the end of it, this is what you should have. Pull the string to close the ring. So now we're off to row 2. To start row 2, you're going to chain 4 and then turn your work, and then you're going to yarn over and make 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. So this is the next chain 1 space, so simply insert your hook, make a double crochet, make 2 of them, and then chain 1, yarn over, and you're going to skip the next 2 double crochets and make 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space, like that, and then chain 2, then yarn over into the same space, make 2 more double crochets, like that, then chain 1, yarn over, skip the next 2 double crochets and make 2 double crochets into the space, chain 1, yarn over, back in the same space, make your last double crochet, and that marks the end of our second row. So now we're going to start row 3. To start row 3, you're going to chain 4, turn your work, and in this very first chain 1 space you're going to place there 2 double crochets, chain 1, yarn over, and into the next chain 1 space make 2 double crochets, then chain 1, yarn over, then skip the next 2 and place 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space, then chain 2, yarn over, back in the same space, make 2 more double crochets, and this is going to be the center of our work, just like how you're seeing this here. Okay, so let's continue. You're going to chain 1 and then make 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, yarn over, and you're going to end the row with 2 double crochets, into the next space, then chain 1, then back into the same space, make 1 double crochet like that. Okay, so for row 4 you're going to repeat row 3. So you're going to chain 4, turn your work, yarn over, and in the very first space you're going to place the 2 double crochets, then chain 1, yarn over, into the next chain 1 space you're going to place the 2 double crochets, chain 1. So basically we're doing the same thing we just did. And that will be the end of your row 4, and your work should be looking something like this. Okay, so you're going to repeat row 4 and 3 until this line is long enough to go from your one shoulder to the other, just like how you see this one here. So once you get to that point, I'm going to get back so I can show you how to make it straight. So continue with it, and then I will be showing you how to do the rest. So I'm back, and this is what I have, and you should be having the same thing at this point. So we're now going to make this straight, just like the other one. So if you're trying to make this bigger, I think as long as it can go from one shoulder to the other, it should be able to fit you, because it's going to be like a crop top kind of. So yeah, it should be able to fit you as long as you follow the measurements. So what we're going to do is chain 3. Remember, we've been chaining 4, but this time we're going to start chaining 3. So after your chain of 3, you're going to turn your work and then yarn over, and you're going to skip this first space that we have here. We have been working into this first space, but this time we're going to be skipping it. So you're going to yarn over, skip that space and the 2 double crochets, and make 2 double crochets into the next space like that. And then you're going to chain 1, make 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, and repeat with the pattern until you get to the end, and then I'll show you how to work on that. So keep making 2 double crochets, chain 1, and of course remember the center, we are making 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the same space. So continue with the pattern. Let me meet you back at the end of this row. So once you get to the end, what you're going to do is, you're not going to chain 1 here like how we've been doing. You're going to yarn over direct and go into that last space and place there a double crochet, and that's it. Then you're going to chain 3, turn your work, and then you're going to yarn over, skip the first space, and make 2 double crochets into the next. Chain 1, 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, and repeat the pattern, and I'll meet you back at the end of it and show you one more time how to end the row. So once you work your way around and get to the end, what you're going to do is, well, you're not chaining here, you're going to yarn over direct and end the row with only 1 double crochet. like that, and then chain 3 and turn your work, yarn over, skip the first space and make 2 double crochets into the next space. So you're going to repeat that row that we just completed. You're going to repeat that row we just completed until you see that this straight line is long enough for your sleeves. Okay, so I'm making a size small, and I know this is going to be enough for a size small. I'll take the measurement for that, and it goes up to 7 inches. So yeah, so I'm going to do the same thing I did with this, and I'll be back to show you guys how to do the rest once I'm done with it. I'm back, and now this is what I have. As you can see, we have this line straight and this one as well. So what we're going to do now is that you're going to get your second piece and just place it on top of it like that. Oh, I'm sorry, I have made a total of 23 rows here for the whole piece, for the back and front panel. So I have 23 rows for each piece, and then you're going to figure out which part you want to be the wrong side, and then because that's where you're going to join it from. Okay, but we have been turning our work, so everything must be looking the same, so you're going to decide on that. And from where you left off, right here, you're going to grab the second piece, so it's like this. So we're now going to make a slip stitch, like go in that space that's around and slip stitch there, chain 1 and cut the yarn. So cut the yarn and do the same thing for this other side. I still had this on it. So do the same thing on both sides, making slip stitches, then chain 1, and then you can cut the yarn. Alright, so by now we have attached these both sides, and this space that we are leaving here is going to be the sleeves. So we're now going to join the shoulder part here up. You join here and you do the same with this side, and then you will leave out the neck part, of course. So yeah, let's do that. We're going to use the single crochet stitch, but feel free to use any stitch that you prefer to use. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to join until I get to the 5th, or this next one, 6, so that this can be enough for the shoulders. And then you count the same for the other piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So on this one is where I'm going to reattach my yarn and chain it. So like I said, feel free to use any stitch of your choice. I'm going to join using my single crochets here until I get to the end, and you're going to do the same thing for the other part of the shoulders, and then I'll get back and show you how to start the sleeves, and then we'll continue from there. So So you're going to complete this with a slip stitch, that, then chain one, and then you can cut the yarn. So after joining both sides of your shoulders, what you're going to do is let the wrong side be on top. So this is the right side and this is the wrong side that's inside. So what we're going to do is make the sleeves. I already made this one sleeve, so I'm just going to show you how I made this so that we complete our project. So you're going to make a knot, and then you are going to reattach your yarn here. This is where we attached the sides from. Chain one to secure the yarn, and then chain three. So 1, 2, and 3, and in that same space you're going to place there another double crochet there, and then chain 2, chain 2, and skip this next space. So you're going to skip this and make 2 double crochets into the next here. So for this row, that first space is what you're skipping, and we're going to do the same thing with this side when ending the row. So we have skipped this part, we have skipped this space and made 2 double crochets into the next. So chain 2, yarn over, and make 2 double crochets into the next. So the rest of the spaces we are not skipping any until we get to the end. So make 2 double crochets into each space, chain 2, and you're going to keep up with this until you get to the very end for this row. So once you get to the end, you're going to chain 2. As you can see, we are left with this space and this one. So you're going to make 2 double crochets into that space, then chain 2, and then you're going to slip stitch on top of the next stitch. So we're skipping this space just like what we did here. So you can go in between the 2 double crochets and slip stitch. So once you're done with this, you're going to chain 3 and then turn your work. Then yarn over, and into the next space you're going to place there 1 double crochet. So the chain 3 is counting as a double crochet, so it means we have 2 of them here. Then chain 2, yarn over, go into the next chain 2 space and place there 2 double crochets, chain 2, into the next space, place there 2 double crochets, and you're going to repeat this all the way around. Once you get to the end of the row, this is my very last space. So chain 2 and then slip stitch. So every time you're done with the slip stitch, you're going to be chaining 3 and then turning your work. And the first chain of 3 is counting as a double crochet. So place 1 double crochet into the chain 2 space, like that, then chain 2, skip the next 2 double crochets and make 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space. And that's the pattern for the sleeves. You're going to continue with it until you have a total of 31 rows, but this will depend on how long you want your sleeve to be and how your gauge is. Like I make really small stitches, so yours might be longer, so you might need to make few rows for the sleeve. But yeah, let me meet you back so I can show you how I ended these last few rows. So continue with that pattern of 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space, and I'll meet you back once you have 31 rows. Then chain 3 and turn your work. Then you're going to yarn over, make a double crochet like how we've been doing it. So we've been chaining 2 here. So now for this row we're going to chain only 1 and then make 2 double crochets into the next space like that, then chain 1, yarn over, and into the next space make 2 double crochets, and continue with like this until you get to the end of the row. So once you get to the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch and then chain 3, turn your work and make a double crochet into the next space. And for this row we're not going to chain, so you'll be going direct into the chain 1 space and making 2 double crochets, so no more chaining here. Make 2 double crochets in each space until you get back to where we started off from, and from there we'll be making single crochets for our very last rows. And once you get to the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch and then you're going to chain 1, and from here we're going to make 3 rows of single crochets. So make single crochets in each and every space. We're going through the 2 loops, not into the space. So this time we're just going through the 2 loops here and making single crochets. Okay, so you're going to continue with this row, and you're going to slip stitch at the end of it and make 2 more rows to make it 3, and then I'll meet you back once you have that completed so that we can finish up our project. At the end of your 3 rows of single crochets, your work should be looking like this. So yeah, this is it. Then you can cut the yarn, and then we are going to work around the neck and make single crochets throughout. So what you're going to do is reattach your yarn, so you're going to reattach your yarn into the next space where, okay, this is where we stopped making our single crochets when working on the shoulders. So we're now going to reattach our yarn into the next space to that one. Then you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to cross over to the other side and make a single crochet. So make a single crochet there and the second one, and then you're going to make 2 single crochets in each of the spaces that you have here. Once you get to this space next to the corner, rather next to the shoulders, you're going to place the single crochets, as you can see, and then you're going to cross over and go to the other side and place the 2 single crochets, and then continue with 2 single crochets into each space until you get back to where we started making the single crochets from. So once you get to the end here, this is the space where we attached our yarn from, where we started off from. So since we only made there 1 chain, you're going to place there a single crochet and then slip stitch into the next single crochet, chain 1, and then you can cut the yarn, and then you can weave this in later. And so far this is how our top is looking like. So the neck is like straight like this, like that. So now the next thing we're going to do is, if you feel like this is too short, you can continue and make more rows for more coverage of your breasts. So I'm going to make like 1 or 2 rows just so I can show anyone who would like to add more rows. So you're going to reattach your yarn right here where you started your sleeve from. Okay, and then we are going to make 2 more rows, but this is optional. Like, this is for those who may want more coverage. So you're going to insert your hook, then reattach your yarn, chain 3 like that, and then into that same space make a double crochet. So as you can see, I messed up a little here. Instead of chaining 2, you're going to chain 1 and then make 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, like what we did for the body of our top. So that's what you're gonna do until you have as many rows as you want, but I ended up making only 1 row for this. So once you get to the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch and then cut your yarn, or continue if you want to. And now I'm going to show you guys how to attach the fringe, and then yeah, that's the last thing we need to do for our top, and then we shall be done with it. To attach your fringe, what you're going to do, we're going to start with the sleeve. So what you're going to do is, this is where we started our row from, our row for the sleeve. So this is the chain. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your hook under the 2 stitches and then pull through the yarn. My fringe is 14 inches long, and then attach it like that. So you're going to do this on every 2 stitches where we had our turning chain, like where we've been turning the chain from. And since this is thin yarn, I'm holding 4 strands like this. You can decide either to skip a space or not to, but I'm going to be skipping a space. And then attach your fringe like that. I'm skipping this space and attaching my fringe onto the next 2 stitches. So you're going to do this and complete it, and then do the same thing for the second sleeve. You're going to attach your fringe on the bottom part of as well, both the front and the back, until you're done with it as well. I'll show you. You're going to reattach your fringe into every space that you see around. You can as well skip if you prefer to do it like that. So you will reattach your fringe like that, and then you will trim them if you have to. You're going to be attaching your fringe into every space, every chain 2 space, all the way around. And then I'm going to do the same thing, and then I'll get back and show you what we have. So continue with it. I'll meet you back once you are done attaching the fringe everywhere we have to. Alright, so that's the end of adding our fringes, and as you can see, I left in some spaces and I still have a few ends to weave in, but that's the end of our tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Give it a thumbs up if you found it useful, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future tutorials. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next tutorial.